Here's Frample Tromwibbler. Tromwibbler.
America, Great Britain. We had a fight once, but now we're friends, and for reasons I don't quite understand, a lot of you Americans are fascinated with Britain. You want to know all about this tiny little nation that once ruled the world. You're obsessed, man. But who is there to teach you about the UK? To separate the facts from the fiction and give you a colourful insight into the differences between the US and the UK? Me, that's who, Frample Tromwibbler. Welcome to my guide to Britain. You lot are always talking about UK, Britain, and England like it's all interchangeable and all the same, but it ain't. This is a UK passport. Now, do I need to explain what that is? Because I've heard that a lot of you people in America don't have one of these. Look, a passport is like a travel document with photo ID that you use to... Oh, fuck it, man. If you don't know what it is, just Google it for fuck's sake. I ain't got all day to explain. Anyway, the point is you can see that the full name of our nation is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now, I know that's a mouthful, and I know what you're thinking as well. What the bloody hell does all of that mean? Relax, that's why I'm here. The best way to understand it is to say that we are one nation made up of several different countries joined together. These islands are collectively called the British Isles. The largest island is called Great Britain, and it's made up of 3 different countries. This is England. In the north, Scotland, and over to the west is Wales. These 3 together are Great Britain. And by the way, the word great here is not some self-aggrandizing title that we gave ourselves to sound impressive. It's actually short for Greater Britain, as in larger Britain. You see, in history, there was another place called Britain, the Lesser or Smaller Britain, and that's a region of northwest France that today is called Brittany. That said, however, it is appropriate that we're called Great Britain because we're fucking awesome, mate. Now, next to Great Britain, there is another island, and apparently some lazy bastard couldn't think of a name for this place, so he just called it Ireland. Although he spelled it wrong. I think maybe it was the same lazy sod who couldn't be asked to come up with an interesting name for this fruit, so he just called it an orange, because that's what colour it is. So anyway, Ireland, and this bit is the Republic of Ireland, which is an independent sovereign state of its own. On top of that is Northern Ireland, and the territory of Northern Ireland is unified politically with Great Britain, creating one state called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Does this all make sense now? It does? Good. So anyone from England, Scotland or Wales can say that they're from the UK and also that they're British. People from Northern Ireland are from the UK, but technically they are not from Great Britain. Remember, that's just this bit here that's united with Northern Ireland. However, to be honest, these days more and more people here do use the word Britain interchangeably with UK when they're talking about the entire state. Which sort of contradicts what I said in the beginning about them not being the same thing, but fuck it, man. Look, just don't say England when you mean the whole nation, okay? That's not cool. And it really, really pisses people from the other countries off. It's like saying they're so unimportant and they matter so little, it's not even worth considering them part of the state. Only say England if you mean England. If you're referring to the entire nation as a whole, say UK, Great Britain, or Britain. The funny thing is that political correctness demands that we refer to ourselves as British, and outsiders like you Americans always call us Brits. But we still typically identify ourselves based on whereabouts in Britain we come from. For example, I was born in England, and I always say to people, I'm English. People from Scotland commonly refer to themselves as being Scottish or Scots, and those from Wales as Welsh. Another thing is that we don't always get along. The history of the British Isles is filled with rivalry, competition, and even war between the different countries. If I'm honest, a lot of the aggression in the past came from England. We were a bit of a bully. So that's why when you lot come over here and start calling the whole place England, the others go fucking mental like, for fuck's sake, man, it's not all about the English. Although we're one nation now, we each have our own distinct cultural identities and traditions that we're still really proud of. There's a lot of rivalry and banter that still exists between us, but for some people there is also genuine dislike. This is particularly true between England and Scotland. There are some Scots who absolutely hate the English, and plenty of English people who hate the Scots right back. It's like fucking Braveheart is still going on in the 21st century. Now, it's not everyone. For the most part, any competitiveness is friendly and it's done in a good spirit. And for a lot of people, there's just no bad feeling at all. But for a few, the undercurrent of animosity from our history is still there. In September 2014, Scotland held a referendum on whether or not to actually remain part of the Union or separate from Britain and become an independent nation. Passions were high on both sides of the debate, and some of the campaigning got fierce. Even Willie from The Simpsons got involved. In the end, though, Scotland voted no to independence, and so they remain part of the UK. However, more than a few people think that there may well be another referendum in our lifetime, and that the Scots could vote to leave next time around. One last thing, my American friends, and this one is so important. It is not correct to call our country London. No joke, I have actually heard this on more than one occasion, when people from the USA have referred to this nation as London. Don't do that, man. It just reinforces the stereotype of Americans not knowing anything about geography or the world outside of America. London is only the name of our capital city. A few years ago, I was in a meeting in another English city, and our guest, who was from Florida, announced to the whole room that he was happy to be with us in London. He meant UK, but he said London, and I'm telling you, people were chuckling in the room, giving each other side-eye, laughing at him, and one or two people just groaning out loud like, this fucking idiot American. To call the UK London would be like me standing somewhere in the middle of Texas telling the people there how happy I am to be with them in Washington, D.C. I think you get the point. So now you know all about the differences between UK, Britain, and England. You can correct your family and friends when they get it wrong and just generally be the smartest bastard in the room. How brilliant is that? You're welcome. I'll be back with more videos in my guide to Britain, including videos on money, food and drink, accents, British stereotypes and whether they're true or not, general differences between the US, UK words and phrases, and if you behave yourselves, I'll even make a video on British slang words and profanity. 'Cause you wankers love that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll see you next time.